Welcome back to In the Kitchen with Grace. Today I am making chicken pot pie. This is an awesome country style dinner, family friendly, kid friendly, great way to use up things you have already on hand in your refrigerator, some random leftovers. It's definitely a go-to for our family. So what I have done, what you're going to need for chicken pot pie now, there's all sorts of recipes out there. Mine is just kind of tried and tested, and I've gotten pretty good at just putting it all together. You're going to need a 2-pack of pie crust. Any kind of pie crust will do. Now, I am a very busy mama. Kids have sports like every single night. I don't really have time to do like homemade pie crust. While it's delicious and definitely adds flavor to your pot pie, I prefer to just do a store-made. Makes it easier for me. So I have sprayed my pie dish and put down 1 layer of pie crust. I've got my mixing bowl ready. You're going to want some frozen vegetables, mixed frozen vegetables. This one has corn, peas, green beans, and carrots. You can use any kind of frozen vegetables you want. We also had on hand, I've got some leftover green beans, garlic seasoned green beans. So I'm going to chop those up and throw them in as well. Great way to use those up. We have some leftover barbecue chicken that we grilled the other day. There's also some peppers and onions in here. I'm not going to include peppers and onions, but I am going to dice up some of the chicken here in just a minute. We have 1 can of cream of chicken, 1 can of cream of celery, got a little bit of shredded cheese. So don't tell the kids, I actually add a dash of hot sauce to my chicken pot pie. You actually can't taste the heat, but you can taste the flavor. And so I really like to add that and sneak it in. I don't tell my kids. And then I have 1 egg that I will use for basting the top layer of the pie crust when it's ready to go in the oven. So I need to chop up my chicken quick, and I need to chop up the green beans. And then we will put that stuff into a bowl and mix it all together and put it into our pot pie. So I'm going to start with some of the chicken. This is going to get a little bit messy. Again, this is pre-cooked chicken. You can, you want to make sure the chicken you're using is cooked. We're just going to cut it. It's kind of just falling apart because we already grilled it. So I am going to use 1 good-sized chicken breast for the pot pie. I personally like to make my pot pies a little bit on the creamier side with an even balance of meat and vegetables. So you can adjust that however you prefer, whatever your family likes. Some people like to have it a little more meatier. Some people like more veggies. But we kind of like it half and half. So I'm going to cut up some of these green beans. Now, if you're chicken, you can see there that my chicken was a little bit tougher to cut because it was kind of more or less just falling apart. You can grab your forks and kind of just shred your chicken meat as well. So these green beans, super delicious. I did red onion and garlic with them and some butter and sauteed them. We use these as a side in... actually, we had it aside here with the barbecue chicken and peppers. That was a Hawaiian dinner that we did with Hawaiian barbecue sauce and rice. It was pretty tasty, but I'm just going to go ahead and use these green beans up. Those are pretty small, so we're going to go ahead and just dump these all into our bowl. Get on in there, green beans. I'm the kind of cook, I just pot commit. I don't care if I get a little bit messy. I kind of just really enjoy getting your hands in there and mixing things together. So these frozen vegetables, y'all, was a half a bag of mixed frozen vegetables. Again, I love to just use stuff up that I have on hand, things that are half open, haven't finished using them up. So they're a little bit icy, which is totally okay. Again, this is just a great way to use up things that you have on hand. So we've got the vegetables, we've got the chicken. I'm going to go ahead and add my can of cream of chicken here. I usually bake my pot pie at around 400 degrees. I like to do this on nights when the kids have sports, and I'm not sure what time the honey is going to get home from work. So it's something where I can adjust the temperature. If I need to cook it faster, I can turn it up. If I need it to kind of chill out for a while, I cook it a little bit slower. So I'm mixing this all together, and it's actually mixed pretty well with the 1 can of cream of chicken. I don't know if I want to add the cream of celery. I'm going to add a little bit of it here. I don't want to use the whole can. It kind of depends on how much filling you have for your pot pie, whether or not you're going to use the second can cream soup. I'm going to do about half of it. Now you can do both cream of chicken. I like to mix and match things. Kind of depends. When I do like a beef pot pie, I do cream of mushroom soup instead of cream of chicken. There we go. See, I like it creamy. I'm going to add some salt. There we go. Some pepper. Again, you're just adding it to preference. There's no specific amount here. Mix that in. We're going to add in a bit of cheddar cheese. I have before added, actually I might go take a look in my freezer. Sometimes I like to add in potatoes, like hash browns, or if we've got some leftover potatoes, I'll dice up and put those in. I'm going to add, I would say probably about a half a cup of shredded cheese in here. Let me go take a look and see if we've got potatoes. I do. Look at this, you guys. It's not even a half full bag. This is perfect. It's probably about 1/4 of a bag of diced hash browns. Again, it's a great way to use up the stuff that you have on hand. Oh yeah. Oh, maybe now I'll add in that whole rest of the can of the cream of celery. Let's get this mixed in here. My kids really like having the cheddar cheese added. They kind of, they used to be a lot pickier eaters. Now they're kind of warming up to new things a little bit better. There we go. This is amazing. Now, again, this was barbecued chicken that I added here. You won't be able to taste the barbecue once it's baked. You got all these other flavors in here. You won't be able to taste the barbecue flavor. So use whatever leftover meats you have on hand. Doesn't matter how they're seasoned. This is perfect. This is going to be awesome. All right, let me get my pie crust. Got that there. And then we're going to go ahead and fill her up. Now, if you want to, you could, if you have a ton, like sometimes I've made this quite a bit. So if you're newer to making pot pie and you are like, oh my gosh, I have too much filling to stuff inside there, you can get extra pie crust and then make little like Hot Pocket style chicken pot pies, which make really good lunches, take to work lunches, especially in the winter. So that is a good lunch idea there. But again, you can see I've got this amount of mixture down just about right. We're almost there. Okay, and then I'm gonna get that all off the spoon. We're gonna use a finger. Oh yeah. Spread her around good and even. All right, so I actually like to add a little extra seasoning to mine. I have used various brands of roasted garlic and herb seasoning. Sometimes it's like specifically chicken flavored as well. And I like to just kind of sprinkle it on top. You can totally mix it in if you want to. And then we have that hot sauce I was telling you about. Now, it's just a dash, okay? It just adds flavor. You won't be able to taste the heat or feel the heat. You can see I just kind of sprinkle a little bit in there. It just adds a little extra to it. Then we're gonna get our second pie crust. Tip for your pie crusts. Now, this particular one that I'm using today is actually generic brand, and they do not unroll as nicely as the name brand pie crusts, just an FYI. As you can see there, it kind of tears just a little bit. If you let your pie crust sit out on your counter for maybe 10 or 15 minutes before you're ready to use them, it will let them warm up a little bit, and they unpeel. They unroll a lot better than if you just take it right out of the refrigerator and really unroll them. You got to go about it a little bit slowly. Okay, so then you come in, you put that second pie crust on top, give it a little pinchy pinch. Some people like to use a fork. I just use fingers. We are not fancy. We prefer to have good, tasty food over fanciness in our household. Also ease. So we're gonna go ahead, pinch this down all the way around. Gotta get a knife or real cut a few holes. They don't have to be big. You can make some fancy designs in here if you want. Go all the way around. This just lets the hot air escape. Keeps bubbling, keeps it from kind of bubbling all over the place. Maybe that's a myth. I don't know. It's what Grandma taught me, right? So then you have your egg. Okay, I'm gonna crack my egg. Using a farm fresh egg here. Go throw that. I'm just gonna go ahead and use the same knife that I had used to poke the holes, just for keeping the number of dirty dishes we're using to a minimum. So you just mix that up real good. You can use a spoon or a fork or your fingers. I've got this little baster here. You just kind of spread this around on the top of your pie crust. And again, my oven gets preheated. So there we go. We've got the whole top of the pie crust basted with the egg, and that just kind of helps the top become nice and golden, slightly crunchy. Perfect crust for your pot pie. I'm going to put it in the oven around 400 degrees. I like to cook mine a little bit slower. It definitely helps me out in the afternoons when it's kind of after school time and I get focused on other things. I don't have to worry about it burning. And usually it'll be about 30 to 40 minutes there in the oven, and then it'll be totally done and ready for dinner. I love the chicken pot pie for a couple of reasons. One, it's a great way to sneak in some protein and veggies into the kids. 2, super easy and simple to make. And 3, it makes leftovers. We love leftovers, especially when you are a busy mama. So there we go, you guys. We have chicken pot pie. I should call it, grab whatever you have on hand pot pie. Just throw it in. Is it the kitchen sink? There we go. Kitchen sink pot pie. Thank you all so much for watching this video. I hope you like it. Subscribe, stick around. Got lots of wonderful country home cooked meals, dinner recipes, healthy snack and lunch ideas, and breakfast ideas as well. We'll see you next time.